David Meltzer. What's going on, Dave?
I'm excited to be here, man. We just found out we have so many synergies, and I know your audience must have the same skills, knowledge, and desire that you and I share. And I'm looking forward to talking to both of you guys on how we can help other people accelerate that.
Yeah, awesome. So I'm here, guys, with Adam Kemper, co-host.
Hello, everybody. Hope you guys know him on this wonderful Thursday. For those of you still keeping track of the days.
Yeah, you guys know Adam from season 1. I'm one of the co-founders of Pitch Investor Live, now also one of the co-hosts here in season number 2. And we promised people that we were going to bring on some amazing speakers. So we're super excited right now to have an amazing conversation with David Meltzer. So those of you that don't know, we're going to give it a second while we share this around to a few people. I'm going to go ahead and share this really quick, and then we're going to give you guys a quick intro. But Adam, do you want to talk a little bit about like Dave and a few things that you saw that of interest? You and me had a few really interesting conversations about this. I was kind of surprised to hear about the sports agency with Jerry Maguire and everything. I was like, oh, no way. I keep getting surprised by Dave. Yeah, Adam?
So, yeah, I mean, definitely this is like a perfect time to just, dive into, business in general, sports media. There's been so many talks among politicians with all of the major sporting events in terms of how can we get back to the sports that so many people rely on as entertainment. It creates a tremendous amount of revenue, as you know, David, and it really brings us back to a healthy distraction too. Entertainment, sports, movies, etc. That's one of the best distractions from some of the difficult things that we're all experiencing. So we thought having an insider like you, David, join us today to talk us through the sports marketing angle. How has that been affected by COVID-19, and what do you see as like sort of the near future for sports and sports marketing in light of this pandemic?
Yeah, we've only been, if this was a baseball game, we've only been in inning number 1. And so, there's a lot going on. I've had a varied career in sports. I ran Lee Steinberg Sports Entertainment, which you alluded to, the most notable sports agency in the world. They made the movie Jerry Maguire about us. And then Warren Moon, the Hall of Fame quarterback, and I started a marketing and media company 12 years ago. That has evolved as well in understanding the transition from in-person, on the phone, email, radio, TV, print, and now social media. The context of sports has to be placed into 3 realms. 1, we've always captured the sports content. We've always amplified somewhere, and then it recently been perpetuated. Well, it's always been perpetuated, but usually short term. Now you can perpetuate content, and there's never been a bigger need for sports. So if you look at sports as a stage theory, that we capture it, modify it, amplify it, and perpetuate it, that we should be able to quickly get to inning number 2, which will be the performance side of sports. Right now, it's the protection side of sports. We can't put people on the same court. We forget the audience. The mass gatherings in the United States, people, just to manage your expectations, it's not going to happen until we have a vaccine. You're not going to have a mass gathering until you have a vaccine. So we're going to have to evolve through these innings in order to get to the World Series, which will be, hey, we're back to mass gatherings. We are going to be able to capture, amplify, perpetuate these different types of sports activities to get us back on board so people can start gambling and interacting and doing all the fun things, fantasy, etc. And the first proof of that will be the draft next week, right? We're going to capture the draft, amplify it, and perpetuate it. And people will be able to join. The biggest missing component of sports, though, to me, is the unification of the emotional side of things. We've been forced to, elevate the Tiger King instead of the eye of the tiger, right? I want to get back to people. We need toughness. We need toughness mindset. We don't need this trash mindset. We don't need negativity. We don't need to be inundated. So we got to go from Tiger King to the eye of the tiger, and that's inning number 2. And so once we get to inning number 2, now you have content to go ahead and sponsor. right? There's a lot of marketing dollars on the side. Companies don't care where the eyeballs come from, but right now they can't sell to the eyeballs, so they've all pulled back. Inning number 2, we're going to start opening up distribution of more products, right? So it's good for Budweiser right now because people can still buy beer, but if you can't go ahead and order, something that's not available because it's not an essential item like beer, then you're not going to advertise it as much. So you'll see this progression from inning 2, 3, 4, and 5 until we get to a vaccine. What I'm hearing, the vaccine will come 12 to 18 months from now. So these innings will be about a season, right? So look at this as a ball game. We got one season into this. Now, the good news in sports is that a lot of people have already been acclimated to consuming the content in this nature. So it's not going to be a change for the majority of the people, right? The majority of people don't go to games. Even though we're put 100,000 people at a football game, billions of people watch the Super Bowl and wouldn't care whether there was 1 fan or 2 million fans, right? So all the gambling can open up, all the product advertisement, all the brand endorsements, all the background B-roll, all the eye of the tiger stuff that we love. It can come back and they can dump the Tiger King, let him sit in jail, and we can really enjoy again. And esports is already proving that. I'm a big investor in Splice and Overactive Media. I was one of the founding investors in esports. It's just accelerated anything that captures, amplifies, and perpetuates sports.
Wow. Yeah. And you bring up some wonderful points about just how many related industries there are connected to the game itself, right? You talk about the beer industry, you talk about many foods that are associated. There's even music that's associated with certain industries. So in your view, how have those, sort of side but related industries been affected by this? And are they able to get back to normal, or are we going to have to sort of all adjust and create a new normal?
Well, there's always a new normal. I think we definitely have to adjust and adapt to circumstances that are compressed uncertainty and accelerated change. And so we'll move from, mass gathering to spreading people out seat by seat. So your 40,000 person stadium becomes a 4,000 person stadium to start, and you keep growing. But there's so many people affected beyond just the owners and the teams, right? I mean, there's so many people that work in facility management, concession. There's franchisees and license owners and leasers and merchandise and a variety of different things that go on and on. Sports is a multi-billion-dollar industry. The good news is that we have a reshuffle, we have a re-engineering, a restructuring. I always say, during this time, what's so much fun for me, I remember when I graduated college, which was a long time ago, by the way, guys. But when I graduated, one of my fraternity brothers said, "Man, imagine if we could go back to college now, knowing what we know. Like how cool would college be? To go back as a freshman?
It would be pretty dangerous."
Well, that's why I say I'm in the middle of a miracle, man. I'm getting right now. The period I'm sitting here, it's like summer break for me. And I'm thinking to myself, I get to go back to college knowing what I know now. And all the relationships are there. I know all the professors. I know all the good, study guides. I know all the tricks of the trade. I know where the good party spots are. I know the girls that I want to go after. All the different things in my business. I'm going to go back to college. So I'm super excited about doing that and knowing that I have prepared for this too, because I've been talking about stage theory for 3 years about how if you want to be successful in this business, it's one thing to understand the live experience, which will always be there, but the real money is in the capturing correctly, modifying correctly, amplifying correctly, and perpetuating, which is the biggest difference. And that's how I built my own personal brand over these 3 years, which is why you guys actually have watched me, is that I knew that when I did a TED Talk and everybody's like, oh my gosh, that's one of the most amazing TED Talks, and only 5 people saw it, years ago, and now millions of people see it.
Yeah.
Because it's perpetual, and my grandkids can see that sucker. So, there's a perpetual nature to content now that, once you listen to a game on the radio when I was a kid, unless you saw the box score, there was you couldn't remember. There's no way to figure out like game 7. Who won the last time the Marlins were in? Well, it wasn't even the Marlins. The Cubs were in.
Yeah. There's definitely, I would say now it's like relevant content will stay there forever, even moving into like the blockchain where everyone wants everything to just stay there forever. There's immutable ability, right? So for those coming on right now, we didn't give a little quick intro, so I'm going to give an intro so that people know who Dave is. Okay, guys, it's very important for you guys to know. Dave, if you guys have heard of the movie Jerry Maguire, he was the former CEO of Lee Steinberg Sports and Entertainment Agency. Okay, guys, with Tom Cruise, Show Me the Money. Yes, this is one of the movies that was super inspiring to me growing up and everything like that. So it's amazing to see what you're doing. David's mission is to reach 1 billion people to be happy. If you guys see on Instagram, you guys got to go ahead and follow him. That's actually where I started following him myself. He's a 3 times national best-selling author. He is a Business 100 business coach, okay? And he's the executive producer of Entrepreneur's #1 digital business show, okay? And it's called the Playbook, okay? So it's super amazing what he's doing, and he continues to do such amazing stuff. And one of the things that caught my eye, and maybe you could give us a little bit more information, because as we enter into this pandemic, this economic crisis, as some would call it, you have actually been to the top and back down. Okay, so I was reading about, basically you had a $120 million portfolio and you went down to 0. And I know this is probably a touchy subject, but can you talk to us about kind of what happened and what did you do? Because a lot of people are in a very similar boat as we speak right now. So talk to us and the entrepreneurs and the businesses and everything like that. Like, how did that happen? And how did you get yourself out of that into doing back and super incredible stuff now?
Yeah, so I was running Lee Steinberg, the most notable sports agency, and I let my ego get in the way. The need to be right, the need to be offended, separate and fierce, anxious, frustrated, angry, all these different needs of the ego. I thought I was Midas, and I lost 4 crucial values of mine: gratitude, forgiveness, accountability. I lived in blame, shame, and justification. And I was motivated, but not inspired. Motivation is a short-term focus. I always joke around, but the difference between motivation and inspiration is you see during a football game like the Super Bowl, Atlanta Falcons were super motivated. New England Patriots were inspired. That's why they've won so many Super Bowls. Motivation is temporary, inspiration is forever. And so because of my wife, actually 2 years before I lost everything, I shifted my paradigm of money making me happy and buying me love to money allowing me to buy the things that will make me happy. So if I buy the right things, I'll be happy. If I buy the wrong things, I won't be. But money's still super important to me. I'm very much a believer in the object of energy that we put into the flow, money, and also faith. And so I learned to combine those two. The key components in what I teach now for people is that I was in very uncertain times in 2008. Most younger people in America have never been in uncertain times. We had 13 years of stable growth, economic, benefits, unemployment is at a low, jobs are out there. Here's what you do in uncertainty is understand, there's 5 things that I think allow you to take advantage. Remember, number 1, that we're in the margins of millionaires, that during times of uncertainty and exponential change, like the Depression, more millionaires were made than other people that understood and took inventory on their values and what their capabilities were according to those values every day, because things change so fast. So you got to look at your personal values, your experiential values, your giving values, and your receiving values. And then you can create certainties in your life, because you can control your mindset, you control your feelings, you can control what you say and what you hear and what you do only if you know your values. And they don't have to be balanced values, and you don't have to worry about being a hypocrite, because everybody is. My values change. I'm not afraid to tell you when I was 22 what I believed in was probably politically incorrect. I probably would lose every job that I ever had. And it was probably the norm of what, most 22-year-old white males believed. They were, I learned about equality and about all the different things that I've learned about, but I'm not afraid to tell you that's what I believed when I was 22, because everybody else believed it. I was a normal idiot college kid. But I find people that don't take inventory in their values every day don't understand the certainty of what they have. 2, ask 2 series of questions. 1, consistently ask right now, especially if you're depressed, anxious, worried, if you are hopeless or even suicidal, go ask somebody how you can help them. Go volunteer, go ask and make yourself fulfilled by providing value and services to others. So go ahead, take that leap. Regardless, ask a series of questions of how you can be of service and value. It will make you feel whole and confident. 2, ask others, not as gatekeepers, but as sponsors and power sponsors. A sponsor is someone that knows someone that can help you. A power sponsor is someone that can help you and knows somebody that can help you. The way that I lost over $100 million in 2008, I didn't ask anybody for help. I was very generous. I was asking how I could be of service or value, but mostly out of ego. I did things in trade, buy my mom a house and a car because I want to be the favorite kid. I donate to charity so I could get on stage and everyone say, Dave Meltzer's so philanthropic. He's amazing. But I didn't ask for help. And I ended up over leveraging myself, letting my ego get in my way and losing everything. So ask those 2 series of questions. 3, most importantly, student of your calendar. You got to study your calendar. Studying means pay attention to and intention into the coincidences you want in your life. So I study my calendar with a lens of productivity, how much value I'm going to have, a lens of accessibility, how accessible am I to others, and how am I accessing what I want, and that lens of gratitude, which allows me to find the light, the love, and the lessons and everything, to find the synergistic and supplementary capabilities that I have to the things that are making money now, the things that are stable now, and the things that are going to make a huge amount of money in the future that are oversold. I'm focusing in by being a student in my calendar, looking at what I have planned, but also what I don't have planned. I'm studying the white space in my calendar, the empty space in my calendar, the blank space in my calendar. So it makes me more productive, accessible, and gracious. 4th, one of the easiest ones to do. And people, don't sit watching Tiger King. I know Netflix is going to hate me. Dude, you got to do things now. This is the time to do things now. And when you do things now, the coolest thing about doing things now, you ask yourself, can I do it now? And if you can, do it. You save twice as much time minimum, and exponentially, you're more successful. Exponentially more successful. The cool thing about doing things now is 100% of things you do now get done. And people that get done literally are successful, especially now, because most people aren't getting shit done because they're paralyzed by their egos, by fear, anxiety, separation, when you should be looking at and studying your calendar. Last, most importantly in the calendar, study sleep. I live every day to wake up tomorrow at 4 a.m. I study my sleep, not only so that my body can rejuvenate, but more importantly, it's the only time I can get that ego out of my way. And instead of living the myth of Sisyphus, where you're rolling the boulder up the hill just to have it roll down every morning and you start at ground zero every morning, I roll the boulder uphill and then I get out of my own way by knowing sleep so that I plateau and grow every day. I start every day at my highest frequency, use that as a baseline to get there and grow on. This is an accelerated time of change, which means it's an accelerated time of growth. And you can change your life. This is the margins of millionaires, boys and girls. This is where they're made. In sports, outside of sports, it doesn't matter. Buy low, sell high. I meditate for one reason, to raise my awareness. Why? Because if I can be aware of when something's oversold, I can guarantee you that I'm going to be a multi-millionaire tomorrow, right? That awareness is critical. Okay, so do it now is 4. 5, we've gone over practice ending fear. Just realize it's a practice. Practice getting out of your own, practice getting rid of the interference and corrosion to the most powerful source of inspiration that you're always connected to. Look for the light, look for the love, look for the lessons in everything. You will find that your capabilities are synergistic and supplementary to, or you have mentors or help that is similar and supplementary to, or you can broker a deal that you have capabilities that are similar or supplementary to, or you can just be a channel partner of something that's synergistic or supplementary to what? Making money, helping people, and having fun. And all of those things are available today and tomorrow, regardless of what happens.
Yeah, those are all incredible pieces of advice. I mean, I hope that people that are listening live will listen to the recorded version and listen to the 5 tips that David just gave and write them down, study them, take them, and begin to implement them, because that's incredible and invaluable advice. So I just want to thank you for that. You did touch on one thing that resonated with me, and you're talking to 2 avid readers. Okay, Jonathan and I read like an incredible amount of books, and we're also into the spiritual side of things and the business side of things as well. You touched on ego. Now, I've read a lot of Wayne Dyer. I've read a lot of Eckhart Tolle. They sort of have their own definition of ego being a blocker to certain things. You know, Eckhart Tolle talks about it being a blocker to being present, for example. You know, what did you discover, or maybe did you read, that helped you identify ego as sort of being an impediment to growth for you individually?
Yeah, so ego is a huge issue for me. Huge student of Wayne Dyer, Eckhart Tolle. My book agent was Eckhart Tolle's book agent. Course in Miracles. I'm a student of practicing ending fear. So here's how ego hits me. Ego is what puts our mind, body, and soul on fire. What it does is it accelerates us in the wrong direction. And so I'm going to share a quick story with everyone. I want to make one note to Damien. Get me confused with the rest guy. That's Meltzer. I'm David Meltzer. So I know a lot of people, you know, confused. We're a big difference. He's a great guy, but not quite as spiritual into the traditional and media side of things that I am. He's a great knowledge of USC and WWE, though. I'm David Meltzer. I love that. The guy's like, wrestling's real. I'm like, I don't know. Hulk Hogan's a friend of mine. Hulk Hogan told me wrestling's real, but the outcomes are predetermined. That's what he always said. Anyway, so ego, follow me on this story and you'll learn about how ego can change your life. I wake up at 4 a.m., student in my calendar. I meditate for 20 minutes to put me at the higher plane to get me outside of that conscious, ego-based conscious. I find my highest frequency knowing that I only receive one action in the day. Everything else is a reaction. The reactions tend to fall within the ego, which put us into a different trajectory, not only a different trajectory, but accelerates us. So I wake up at 4 a.m., meditate for 20, get ready for 10 minutes, and then go take care of the number one priority of my life, my health. Minimum of an hour a day on my health. If I'm going to give you any advice, find something healthy that you'd love to do every day of your life. If you don't take care of yourself, you'll never take care of anyone else, including your family. It goes before my family and goes before the activity I get paid for. So I wake up on a Saturday. By 4:30, I'm ready to go, going to get in my car, and I notice that my 17-year-old daughter's car is missing. I immediately grab that phone, and I'm about to, where the are you? What the is your car? What the did you do? Right? I'm on fire. I know there's some kids and parents out there going, I get this, right? I'm on fire. My mind, my body, my soul is on fire. Now, my mom taught me when you're on fire, when you're in ego-based consciousness, if you literally catch on fire, you got to stop, you got to drop, and you got to roll. So in this practice of ending fear, of ending ego, because ego edges goodness out of our life, it edges gold out of our life, right? The two currencies, faith and money. And so I stop. I have what I call the 6 breaths of the ferocious Buddha. I don't like the idea of a Buddha because like the Buddha just sits around all day. And like, if you're just going to sit all around all day and meditate, don't live on this earth, go to the higher plane and exist. I'm a ferocious Buddha. I'm one that is pressing and expanding and accelerating. So the ferocious Buddha, he stops, he takes 6 deep breaths, 1 through his nose, out through his mouth. He gets back to that higher plane, that higher frequency. I did that. And I asked myself, why am I so mad? And I said, I'm not mad. I'm scared. I'm scared because one of the people that I most care about in the entire world that I'm responsible for, something may have happened to her. Now that changed not only my mindset, it changed my feelings, it changes what I'm going to say and what I hear, and it changed what I did. The 4 things that I have control of. So I call my daughter with the ferocious Buddha and I said, hey, where are you? She said, I'm in my bed. Where's your car? Oh, it's at the store. You told me, Daddy, that when kids are drinking, that I should Uber home. Now, I'm not dumb enough to think kids are drinking. My daughter's not drinking, right? I understand that. But I also understood that's what I told her to do. I don't want anyone, I told her, whether you've had a sip of alcohol or someone you know, you're not going to get into a car. I'll pay for everybody. You put them in their cars. I'll pay it. You get home. So I said to her, I go, thank goodness you're okay. I said, I'm so proud of you. Thank you. She said, I love you, Daddy. I'm going to go back to sleep. I hung up. Why is that so important? Because this is the difference between fulfilled people and filled people and empty people. This is the difference between the lucky and the unlucky. This is the key. When you read Dyer and Eckhart, this is the difference between edging gold out of your life, edging goodness, because this is what happens to those ego-based people where I used to live. I would have called and said, where the are you? And she would say, what the are you talking about? I said, where the is your car? And she'd say, well, I did what you told me to do. Kids were drinking. I'm like, kids weren't drinking. You were drinking. I'm taking your car.
Yeah.
The next time kids are drinking, my daughter would have said, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to lose my car. I'm going to drive home.
Yeah. Yeah. Escalate.
I can't think of a better situation to show you how you can edge goodness out of your life, edge gold out of your life. I'm accountable. And I see people do that all the day. They're in this why me world. And I'm like, I'm going to try me world, excuse me. I got the F word hanging. I sound like Gary Vee for a second. Literally, I'm going to try me world. It's like, are you kidding me? I am tough enough to stay out of the acceleration in the wrong trajectory. I'm going to stop, drop, and roll when I'm on fire from now on. And all these things that snowball into horrendous ego-based issues, lessons that we learn. Remember, life is about lessons. The lessons are going to keep on coming until you learn them. If you have pain in your life right now, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, or financial pain, all it is an indicator you get the experience of learning a lesson. Because once you learn the lesson, pain's going to go away. Okay. I promise you.
Right.
I just have learned a lesson, and it has changed the amount of pain, the frequency in which I can get back to center. I went from years of pain to months of pain to days, weeks of pain to days of pain to hours of pain to minutes of pain. Now I just get moments of pain because I immediately stop, drop, and roll. I am the ferocious Buddha. I am on a path to enjoy the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of my potential. I'm not voting for what other people think my potential is. You can laugh at me, scoff at me, make fun of me, but you will applaud me someday.
Wow, that's a message right there. The thing that I heard out of that I really resonate with also is like being the ferocious Buddha. Because like a lot of the teachings, from ancient times until today, Hermetic times until today, some people say that, let's say in the Buddhist type of way, is very calm. You're not in so much, you just let things flow. You know what I mean? And like one of the things that I've come across now is that, not only can I sometimes get myself into, a meditative state, if you want to call it, but be that commanding warrior that is out there to go and get what is basically good for people out in society, to give people value and also create something amazing. So like what I hear from that is like, you're still in command of what you want to go out and do, but you're also able to retract really quickly and just be calm as a Buddha, right? Like that's what I'm hearing from that. That's super amazing.
Yeah, in a sports context, it's Russell Wilson or Warren Moon, who's my business partner, right? They are utilizing their free will and their ferociousness, but they're allowing things to happen. They're playing the game in neutrality. And I think there is a conflict that people, if you're going to live at this vibration, you have to have free will. Nothing happens at this vibration until it moves, including money. Money's not disappearing right now. It's just slowing down. And I'm using my free will. Look, I can't be poor enough. I get too many people going, I feel bad. I'm taking advantage of the opportunity. I'm like, look, listen to me. You cannot be poor enough to make somebody rich, but you can be rich enough to help other people be rich. Ooh. Right? I'm telling you. So I'm a ferocious Buddha. I want everything to come through me for others. I want to allow it to happen, but I'm using my free will to make room for what I want, to allow more to come through me to others. And it's a different perspective. Yes, I believe there's another plane, another universe where I can be a completely passive soul in connection in everything. But in this world, money is the currency. It's the object of energy that I put into the flow. And then I have to balance the blend of that currency with my currency of faith and utilize both effectively in order to be efficient, effective, and statistically successful. But most importantly, like you said at the beginning of this, my goal is happiness. Happiness to me is my mission. Over 1 billion people are going to be happy because I'm going to find 1,000 people like you and Adam that are going to teach 1,000 people to teach 1,000 people. Because 1,000 times 1,000 is a million times 1,000 a billion. Anyone that's met me, has seen me on stage, seen my Instagram, seen my TV show Elevator Pitch or the Playbook, my podcast, my books, all the coaching I do, they'll agree with one thing. I asked them, do I have the capability to empower 1,000 people, to empower 1,000 people, to empower 1,000 people? And it makes me so proud that I've connected the dots backwards, that people believe as much as I do, that I can effectuate a collective consciousness of happiness. Happiness is the greatest virus of all time. It spreads by witnessing it. It strengthens our immune system. People need to start sharing this sucker. Go ahead, take your face mask off and smile, because that's going to spread the virus that we want.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And one thing we've touched on in the last couple of episodes is, how much good has come from this. People acting in unison with each other, helping each other when they ordinarily wouldn't, maybe showing a greater appreciation and gratitude for the people that don't ordinarily receive that, such as our frontline healthcare workers, our grocery store clerks, the people that are serving our everyday needs that maybe ordinarily get overlooked. So perhaps there's a greater message and a greater good that's coming from what we all sort of perceive as this, negative time dealing with this pandemic.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. 100%.
I see it as a great opportunity to take inventory innovations that are being created right now. Everybody probably doesn't know Einstein. The reason that he created E = MC² is he's the only one from his graduating class not to get a job, so he had time to think about things. If you're not utilizing this time to take inventory and to think about, the way that I look at it is, I'm my own chief betterment officer, right? And so I'm looking at everything in my life right now because I finally have time by slowing down, by not traveling 200 days. This is the first time since I've been 24 years old that I've slept in the same bed 7 straight days. So I'm taking the time as a chief betterment officer of my life to look and say, hey, how can I make this better? How can I, right, where, we came on and we're talking about people taking advantage of opportunities, by taking money they don't need or firing people just because it's an opportunity to get rid of them. Look, we need to make everything better. So challenge yourself. How do I make this situation better? Because it's literally, it's your mindset, your feelings, what you say. Most importantly, too, what you hear. Don't inundate yourself with negativity. If you need stable data, there's certain things you need to know factually for your personal, professional life. Go seek it at a certain time during the day. Don't let it inundate you. Don't talk to people that are negative. You are the aggregate of what you hang out with. Right? I tell my kids all the time, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Go ahead and befriend the right people, the right ideas. Go ahead and look at things and improve with a lens of being the betterment officer that you are. I super appreciate the opportunity to talk to everyone. Please join me on my trainings Fridays. They're free, 11 a.m. David at D Meltzer. Text message is 949-298-2905. David Meltzer, not Dave. David Meltzer. The other guy's a great guy too. Follow us both.
Yeah, get us some information, David, and then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and post it inside of this live and everything. So if you guys want to go ahead and if those of you that rewatch it, go ahead into the commentary. You're gonna have some information on how to follow David and what he's about and everything. And David, we appreciate you big time.
Thank you so much, David. This has been incredible. We really appreciate it.
Yeah,
come on my live and join me sometime. I look forward to doing this again. Call me if you need anything.
Yeah, thank you. David,
thank you guys.
Have a great day.
Thanks.
Bye.
And pitch the world, guys.